We are It's Our Year Sports. I am here. I am Alex Smolinski. I am joined alongside with columnist Adi Ramakrishna and columnist Hamid Moshrefi for the Houston Chronicle. Um, we are here discussing the first game of the divisional round, which is going to be the Baltimore Ravens and the Denver Broncos. Hamid, what do you think?
Sticking with the Ravens, I think they're going to the Super Bowl. This is one of those years. It's like the Colts back in the 2000s when they kept going to Foxborough, they kept losing, Peyton Manning's Colts, and then eventually one year they broke through. So I have the same feeling on the Ravens. Flacco can probably put three plays together and score a 60-yard touchdown. So I'm going to go with the Ravens on this one all day.
I think that's kind of crazy talk. Peyton Manning is pretty much on fire right now. I don't know how many games have they won in a row, like 20 or something like that.
11 games in a row, but how many good teams, how many playoff teams have they played?
I guess I don't really know the answer to that stat. I think this Peyton Manning Tom Brady duel in the next round is pretty inevitable at this point. I think this is probably the end of the line for Ray Lewis for sure. But I think if he had to pick a quarterback to go out to, it would probably be Peyton Manning. I mean, you have to figure it'd either be Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, and that Tom Brady's kind of like a feminine, like diva kind of guy. So I think he would go with Peyton Manning between the two of them.
You know, I'm going with the Ravens on this one. I explained it last time. This is Ray Lewis's magic. It's just stronger than everybody else. I mean, how many players do you know that can just be put in and dance off the last play of a playoff game?
Not gonna happen.
I think that Hammond makes a great point about their schedule. I don't think Denver's had, a solid strength of schedule. I know they started off with a couple of playoff teams, but since then, I believe they've been playing pretty much all 6, 7, 8-win teams. So between the fact that they've been cooling off on the sidelines for the last week, while the Ravens have been, playing an emotional Colts team, an emotional game against an emotional Colts team, I think this is just one of those classic things that happens when a wild card team comes in and brings that momentum and steamrolls an opponent that's just been sitting still for a while.
And to me, it's like, they did play the Ravens. The Broncos did play the Ravens in middle of December, and they did win 34-17, I believe. And it really wasn't a close game either. The Broncos went up early. The Ravens made a lot of defensive mistakes in the first half. I think Peyton Manning only had 2 touchdowns in that game, and it was really a blowout. But this is one of those things. I feel like when NFL teams play, when they play that same team in the playoffs, the results usually completely different, other than Lions Saints last year. But you got to admit, the Ravens are going to be ready to go for this game. Other than that Ravens game, the Broncos haven't played anybody, and Peyton Manning's 0-3, and he's 0-3 in less than 40-degree weather. The dude's 38 years old. He's probably going to turn purple like Brett Favre did against the Giants in the NFC Championship, and there's probably going to be someone missing a field goal tonight, and the Ravens are going to win.
You're going to see the Manning face, though.
Well, the thing is, all right, the thing with the cold weather stat, first off, is I know he's 0-3 in games under 40 degrees, but none of those have been home games. He's playing at home now, which I think is a big difference. And also, those were against 3 teams that were better than him, and they were all over 8 years ago. It was 2 at Foxborough against Tom Brady in, like, their Super Bowl prime, and 1 at the Jets where I think they lost, like, 41-0. But also, he's going to be wearing a glove. He's going to have I know Matt Stafford didn't fare too well with the glove, but he feels pretty confident about the glove. He's pretty happy with it. And one last stat that about your how, if you play the same team twice or whatever, Peyton Manning's actually beaten the Baltimore Ravens 9 times in a row. So I don't know. I think that it's probably going to be a clean 10. In my opinion.
If there's one thing I've learned from roulette, is that if something comes up black 9 times in a row, you have to bet red.
I lost so much money in Vegas 2 months ago with that mentality.
It's the Ravens, man. The Ravens, eventually they'll break through. I mean, they've had enough talent to warrant Super Bowl runs for 3 or 4 years now, and eventually they will break through. And I don't know. And that's what I believe. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen with Ray Lewis on that team.
Yeah, and a point about that game in December where they played the Broncos, it was a 10-point game going into halftime, and Joe Flacco just had this boneheaded Joe Flacco interception that he threw that turned into a
You
pick
charted
six.
out for a second.
So like you're talking about like a 10 to 14 point swing right there.
I don't know. I think Denver's going to win pretty convincingly, and I'm excited to see what happens when Peyton Manning makes to the Super Bowl because they keep promising in all these Papa John's commercials that like something cool is going to happen when Peyton Manning goes to the Super Bowl, and I just really want to see what that is. So
I think we all
I'm
get 2 million pizzas or something to
I'm
that.
I'm emotionally rooting for Ray Lewis, but I'm picking Denver, and I hope we get some pizza out of it.